So imagine you are staring down this bright neon pink bowl of soup.
Oh, yeah.
It literally looks like, I don't know, pop art. But it's actually shalti
Oh,
It's this revitalizing, centuries-old Baltic cold beet soup. Or, picture Zeppelining.
right. The Zeppelins.
Exactly. They literally translate to Zeppelins because these hearty potato dumplings stuffed with meat, they are like the exact shape and size of heavy blimps.
Which is wild, and that intense visual contrast is exactly why we're taking you on a deep dive into the Vilnius restaurant scene today.
Yeah, our mission is basically to map out how a city takes those rugged agricultural roots and collides them with a rapidly modernizing, globally connected food culture. And obviously how you can best experience it.
Because to really understand what you'd be eating there, we have to look at where those massive staples actually came from.
Right?
The menus are super heavy on potatoes, beets, Westic breads, savory meats, and fermented drinks like kvass.
And you have to ask why those specific ingredients are the foundation.
Right. Exactly. It comes down to the harsh Baltic winters. Historically, the only things that survived were hardy root vegetables and ingredients you could ferment or pickle.
Or just store in a cellar for months.
Yeah, exactly. So when you eat those heavy dumplings, you are literally tasting a survival mechanism that turned into culinary art.
But, okay, here is the problem with heavy root vegetables and massive meat dumplings. How does a city plug into the lightweight, fast-paced, modern global food scene when its signature dish is built for surviving a blizzard?
Right, it's a huge shift.
I was looking at the menus for some of these trendy bistros, and chefs are totally overhauling these classics.
Well, they kind of have to, right? A city's culinary history can really only survive if it adapts to how people actually live and eat today.
But aren't they just sort of messing with perfection?
How do you mean?
It's like trying to remix a classical symphony with a synthesizer.
Yeah.
Just imagine you sit down and order that neon pink shalti baroshai, and they bring you a deconstructed version.
Oh, with the fresh herbs and a hint of citrus.
Yeah. Or those Zeppelin dumplings are suddenly stuffed with gourmet wild mushrooms and imported truffles instead of the traditional rustic meat. Does that erase the history?
I wouldn't say it erases it. I think it elevates it.
Elevates it.
Yeah, if you look at the mechanism behind what these chefs are doing, they're using modern plating techniques and lighter seasonal produce to make a heavy winter staple accessible for a summer palate.
Oh, okay. I see.
They let you experience familiar heritage flavors through this innovative lens, rather than just, throwing the recipe out entirely.
That makes sense. And that willingness to experiment, it completely reshapes the geography of how you experience the city.
It really is.
It's almost like a culinary Russian doll, where the process of peeling back each layer reveals a different phase of the city's evolution.
Walk us through those layers.
Well, the outermost layer is the modern global fusion. You step off the street into authentic sushi spicy Thai or a cozy Italian trattoria.
Right, very international.
Exactly. But you peel that back to the next layer, and you find these elegant, upscale, fine dining spots right in the city center.
The ones modernizing local ingredients with carefully selected wines.
Yes. And if you keep digging down to that smallest, most hidden doll at the center, you find tiny family-run cafes tucked away in quiet neighborhoods.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they're serving generations-old pastry recipes that are completely untouched by time or trends.
And that layered approach is exactly what makes the city so accessible for you.
Totally.
Like if you were walking down those streets today, you could peel back to that family cafe layer and grab a traditional budget meal for maybe 5 to 15 euros.
Which is amazing.
It means you could eat your way through the city's history without emptying your wallet.
Wait, but what about the fine dining layer? The sources mentioned upscale meals starting around 30 euros.
Yeah, they do.
In most European capitals, 30 euros barely gets you a mid-tier appetizer. How is the economics of that possible when they're using things like, imported truffles?
Well, it's because those luxury imports are balanced heavily by an abundance of local seasonal produce.
Oh, right. That offsets the cost.
Exactly. And beyond price, the entire ecosystem is incredibly adaptable to how you live today.
How so?
You'll easily find vegan beetroot burgers, gluten-free options, extensive delivery networks. They even have designated pet-friendly dining spots so your dog can tag along.
So Vilnius really isn't treating its culinary history like some dusty museum exhibit stuck behind glass.
Not at all. I mean, they are actively playing with their food. The old root cellar staples are being dragged out into the global spotlight.
Right.
It basically makes the food scene a living, breathing adventure you're meant to actively explore.
That is a fascinating way to look at it. But, it leaves me with one final question for you to chew on.
Go for it.
If a traditional, rugged peasant dish is continually deconstructed, lightened up with citrus, stuffed with imported truffles, and plated like modern art, at what point does it stop being Lithuanian heritage and transform into a completely new, borderless cuisine?
That's a great point.
Yeah, is that edible history lesson suddenly teaching a different subject entirely?